going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, preening, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HASANABI broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. Folks, we're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one, because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Monday News Day. That's right. I am in Los Angeles, California still, folks. That's right. I am not in New York City, as I said I would be. And this is a part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news, so I'm going to tell you exactly what happened and all the events that unfolded. I ended the broadcast. I had all my bags ready to go, ready to rip. And I had already talked to Uncle Sam. I was going to co-host it with him this morning, take over a majority report. Normally, okay, Los Angeles, LAX from my house is like a 35-minute drive with like light traffic. I have a flight at 11. For a flight at 11, you need to be there by 10. In order to be there by 10, you have to leave at like, 9:20. I left at 8:45. Giving myself a half-hour drive, which would put me there way before, like actually early as fuck. You need to be at the Terminal 5 by 9 o'clock, man. No, y'all are wrong. The 2-hour airport rule is so that you can fucking make it to the air. It's not. The problem is internally in the airport. I already have fucking clear. I don't have pre-check anymore, obviously, because the government took it away from me. But I have clear, and I have fucking business class tickets. I have expedited entry throughout the entire fucking process. The airport part of the equation is not the equation that actually takes a long fucking time. The part of the equation that takes a long time is the travel, which I accounted for. This has happened. This is the second time now. LAX has like 2 different points of entry, and both of them are deadlocked traffic stuck at all times. I'm on Sepulveda. I'm far away that I can't fucking walk. I'm literally sitting in bumper to bumper. It's not moving. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a car crash. I don't know what the fuck was going on at LAX. I don't know if it was like terrorism. You know what I mean? But basically, it was so far that I could not walk with my gear, but so close that I can't just say fuck it. You know what I mean? I believe it. I'm gonna make it. So I just sat in that fucking traffic for 2 hours, and it just straight up went nowhere. I think they recommended more than no, dude. The 2 hour prior to your fucking flight shit for domestic travel is because you get jammed up in TSA. Guys, we didn't get there is my point. My point is we didn't get there because the problem is the randomly streets just fucking closed in Los Angeles. I can't even explain this to motherfuckers. I sat in traffic because there's no public transit in Los Angeles, and there's also a shit ton of car chases that take place. Last time, March and I got stuck in traffic because the Los Angeles Police Department was doing some fuck shit and doing another car chase, which ended up shutting down the freeway. So we got stuck there. There's nothing you can do because they were doing a fucking police chase. This time, I don't know what happened. I suspect like a cop got killed or something. I don't know. Maybe like a cop got killed. Is that what it is? That makes a lot more sense. Yes, you missed the crossover Uncle Sam episode. That was annoying as hell. I'm sorry. Anyway, lesson learned. Next time, I'm just going to go the day prior. If I have to fly out of LAX, I just have to literally set up a tent at LAX the day prior so that I can make the fucking Hajj, make the pilgrimage to the goddamn Los Angeles International Airport a day prior and just fucking sit in the airport. I need to camp out in the airport if I need to like literally leave this stupid fucking state. A big part of the problem is because Los Angeles does not have a stupid fucking public transit system. That's the real issue. Why is PJ not an option? Bro, are you crazy? You think I'm gonna fucking fly on a private jet? What are you, out of your mind? I basically spent the same time period that it would take to fly, like the same flight time that it would take to go to New York, which is like what, 5 hours? Okay, it's a 5-hour travel time. I basically spent 2 hours going one way and then another hour sitting in traffic to get out of the fucking to get out from one of the side streets. So I burned more than half of that time in the car. It was fantastic. Damn, Kai called out NYPD. Wait, Eric Adams did a fucking thing with CENAT? Bro, stop. That's crazy. God damn it. Okay. All right. I mean, it's not like he's going to win, but it doesn't matter. It's just like, that's a big L for Kai. Actually, that's a straight up L for Kai, dude. You don't need to fucking offer a platform to Eric Adams. Are you kidding me? He sucks. Doing with Zoran. That would be impactful. Imagine Andrew Cuomo, Kai CENAT stream. It's a rare L. Rare. It happens sometimes, but maybe it was adversarial. Yeah, no, it wasn't fucking adversarial, dude. What are you talking about? Kai's not like gonna do journalism against the fucking current corrupt mayor of New York. At most, yeah, I guess asked him about why the NYPD was doing some bullshit to Phantom's car.
That my friend like Phantom could like probably get like an apology for what
you
happened.
Must be salivating right now after Iran attacked Qatar. Wait, why would I be salivating? What does that even mean?
Like an apology from like whether it's from the police department or some type of apology because he was done wrong. Like he was done wrong, and it's like
with the situation with the car.
With the car.
Let me look at him and see what happened.
The car.
Let me see what.
Yeah.
Let me see exactly what happened. If something was done wrong, he'll get an apology.
Yeah.
Let me see exactly what happened. Because this is news to me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You know? Because normally nobody's just gonna roll on you and take your car.
Yeah.
So you're saying he was?
No, that actually happened. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure everybody has video cameras now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Bro, if you're gonna press him, like, I mean, the NYPD doing some fuck shit to Phantom's car is already messed up for sure. But it's like, you know, that's the NYPD, man. If you want to press the mayor on some shit, especially about the NYPD, considering that he's already a fucking cop, like Eric Adams is literally a cop. There is so much more you could be pressing him on. Not that the NYPD is ever going to apologize anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You should have Phantom call me.
Okay.
Where is he?
I'll get the info.
Is he from New York?
Yeah, he's from New York. Yes, the Bronx.
He came back.
Huh?
He's back.
Nah, he's back. He be out here, but we.
Look at Eric Adams acting like he doesn't know. He goes, is he from New York? Oh, he came back? Like, okay, so you knew that Phantom wasn't around. Okay. Iran launches missiles targeting U.S. base in Qatar. Okay. All right. Let's just get right to it. Iran this morning or last night struck Israel again. And then this morning, Iran struck Bahrain and Qatar and I think Iraq as well. Like they struck U.S. bases in the region, basically. There was an inevitability that Iran was going to retaliate, most likely back at Israel, but also the United States of America. This is legally within the rights of Iran to do. After the United States violated Iranian sovereignty once again, whole ass, completely separate nation for the record. When the U.S. bombed Iran, the 3 Iranian nuclear sites, that was done to create to provoke some kind of retaliation against the United States. There's 40,000 troops in the region. There's aircraft carriers in the region. There's numerous bases. Obviously, U.S. CENTCOM was being run out of Qatar. 10,000 troops positioned there. There's troops in Bahrain. There's troops in Syria, like 1,000, I think, or so. There are troops in Iraq. There's American troops all around, and there are plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of strike opportunities for Iran. But one of the things that I initially suspected and called out ahead of time was that given Iran's track record of restraint in this tit for tat, in this back and forth that was happening with Israel, and also in the limited response that took place when Donald Trump in his last tenure severely escalated and killed Qasem Soleimani, the famous Iranian head of the IRGC Quds force, like their special forces. The Iranian retaliation was once again incredibly fucking limited, incredibly limited. And I think that the generals that were in Trump's ear this time around, on top of like the Israeli influence in this process, because it's pretty obvious that we are now letting Israel guide our foreign policy in the region. They're in the driver's seat, and they are running the show, right? These escalations that are happening and no interest in negotiation whatsoever has always been Israel's most important policy. Iran is like the crown jewel that they want to take out in the region because it is a funder of all of these. It is a funder of all these resistance groups that resist against Israel. It goes against their ambition of doing this Greater Israel project, which is an exterminationist project. It's unfolding in Gaza right now, and it's happened in southern Lebanon in the past. And of course, for this reason, Iran being a sovereign nation state and being able to create like logistical supply chains in the entire region was a major issue for Israel's ambitions of developing a larger state of Israel, that's their goal. This obviously is against America's interests in the region as well, because America is aligned with Israel on this. Israel is an extension of American imperialism in the region, and Israel is a forward operating base for the United States of America, as I've said time and time again. It is an unsinkable aircraft carrier. It has its own espionage capabilities. It plays a very important role in all of our operations in the Middle East, a resource-rich region that we want to dominate and control. Obviously, considering the other Gulf nation states, Saudi Arabia and Qatar as well, and the UAE and every other Gulf region oil-rich nation state is completely in the pocket of the U.S. empire. Iran is the one that does not play ball, and for a very long time, the goal for America and Israel has been to basically either implement a puppet regime in Iran, as they had done so in the past, or when America entered this conflict, to strike at the nuclear facilities, which is a violation of numerous different international rules that were set in and of itself, because you can't just strike nuclear facilities just because you felt like it. In the midst of a denuclearization negotiation that was taking place, they did so because they were following through on Israel's ambition. This is Israel's goal. America's goal in the past was to try to use diplomacy against Iran. That was what Barack Obama did. And even in that diplomatic process, there were a lot of sanctions that they implemented on Iran in an effort to bully Iran into submission, to stop their nuclear ambitions dead in its tracks. But it was successful. It gives me no pleasure to report on this, considering that I'm not a big fan of Barack Obama. But Barack Obama's JCPOA agreement was actually a profoundly successful denuclearization agreement. Having said that, however, obviously Donald Trump, the first time when he became president, immediately geared by the hundreds of millions of dollars that he had gotten from the Adelsons, at the time it was Sheldon Adelson, and his close relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu, very quickly turned around and cast aside that denuclearization agreement. Iran still followed the denuclearization agreement, regardless of the fact that Donald Trump had actually cast it aside. And then Donald Trump added additional sanctions to the state of Iran, at which point they started nuclear proliferation again, because the real goal was never to stop the Iranian, the Islamic Republic from getting nukes. The real goal always has been regime change. The casus belli for regime change and the military action necessary to, in their minds, create either regime change or a failed state in Iran was by claiming that they had nukes, WMDs. A lot of Americans who are old enough remember the WMD memes from the Iraq War. They lied about Iraq having weapons of mass destruction, and they used that as a reason for why they had to go to war with Iraq. Now, of course, this came in the aftermath of 2 years of unlimited propaganda post 9/11. It was immediately after 9/11, so obviously people were a lot more invested into going to war, as opposed to doing this in 2025. In the ashes of the war on terror, where everybody fucking understands that America lied to go to war with Iraq, and it was a major fucking L for America in general, and it caused so much instability in the region and had tremendous impact, and it's deeply unpopular, so unpopular that Donald Trump literally ran against the Iraq war in 2016 against Hillary Clinton for supporting the Iraq war and won. It's not working. The same meta is not really working unless you already have tremendous amounts of motivated reasoning to believe that Iran does have nukes and we have to fucking blow them up. And there are some people who believe that, but clearly, judging by the latest YouGov poll that came out that I posted, 85% of the country does not want to go to war with Iran. 85% of the country. And the support for going to war with Iran is at like 5%. So what's spectacular about everything that has unfolded in this past week has been that, one, Israel is very clearly guiding the Middle Eastern policy at this point. Just they are in charge. They are holding the wheel, and we are doing everything for Israel. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there is no appetite for this, and it's so crazy to me because they're not even trying to develop consent for it. They're basically saying, no, this is what it means. America first, baby. Iranians close to me say that the U.S. left the Obama agreement because Iran didn't let inspectors to all the facilities. No, that's not true. Iran was completely in cooperation. How do you know that Iran complied with the JCPOA post-American withdrawal? Because Iran kept cooperating with international authorities, including the International Atomic Agency, the Atomic Energy Agency. So that's the reason why they knew that they were cooperating. The International Atomic Energy Agency is supposed to be this independent body. 70% of their resources goes to Iran. They only are there to monitor Iran. Having said that, however, they might actually leave the NPT now, for the record. And it seems to me like the Iranian Parliament's National Security Commission has approved the bill on the suspension with the cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. Because of course they're going to do that. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they build nukes now? You cannot stop nuclear proliferation by striking a country's nuclear bases that were designed to be deep underground, specifically to avoid exactly what is happening right now. If you wanted to actually get Iran to play ball and not have nuclear proliferation, you had to basically do what Barack Obama did. That was the only successful method, because they have scientists. Iran is an incredibly well-educated country. Contrary to what dumbass Americans think, Iran, it has a higher literacy rate than the United States of America. Iran is an incredibly educated country, a much more educated country than the United States of America. Someone said cap. This is my favorite when I say basic facts about a country and people go, nah, that doesn't sound right. Okay, look it up on your own then. What are you supposed to do? Kill every single scientist in the country? Is that what you're going to do? I mean, if we're up to Israel, that is what they would do. Took 30 seconds to Google. Iran's literacy rate is 89%. America's 79%. I know, I covered it the other day as well. What I predicted initially was that the Iranian government's retaliation, the IRGC's retaliation, was going to be incredibly restrained, even against the United States of America. After the United States bombed the nuclear facilities, Iran only retaliated against Israel the first night and last night as well. And then today, they finally struck against American assets in the region. Bro, they moved all the troops. They already said ahead of time that they were going to strike Qatar. It's a symbolic prize. The reason why the markets are up is because this was a de-escalatory retaliation. Iran has options in terms of retaliation here. The maximalist position would have been to continue bombing with long-range ballistic missiles Israel, using their short and medium range and older munitions on American bases, shutting off the Strait of Hormuz, the 33-kilometer area that 20% of all global oil and a shit ton of commerce goes through, and then maybe even activate whatever remains of like the Hezbollah missile capabilities on Israel as well. That is the maximalist position, and Yemen, of course, as well, would be striking against American positions and also Israel with whatever capabilities they have. That is the maximum position, or, well, I guess the one position above that is directly lighting oil refineries on fire. This would have, of course, nuke global trade in its entirety. This right here, what they did, was basically the most limited version where you save face. It's like a save face counterattack, because you have to do something, because you're a nation state. You're a proud nation state. You're a nation state that has an interest in like defending your own national sovereignty. You have to retaliate, and the retaliation was largely symbolic. It's not a real deterrence at all, considering that Israel has refused to back down from the largely symbolic retaliations that Iran has engaged in so far. And America obviously is the top dog in the fucking region. And I said that they were most likely going to eat it. They were going to tank the damage. They were going to say the facilities were not that damaged. There's not a state of disrepair. You only gave us a little fucking bruise. It's fine. And we will continue to try and retaliate through legal options that we have, with the hopes that they can get away, and America will actually come back to the fucking bargaining table and negotiate, and maybe even leave Iran alone. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that this is in America's plan. I think this is certainly not in Israel's plan. Israel's made that clear. So I do think this is most likely a mistake, but we shall see. As I suspected, the generals who were in Trump's ear about how this at most would resemble the post-Soleimani assassination retaliation may have been correct, significantly limited, even if the target is a higher prize symbolically. 3 Iranian officials familiar with the planes familiar with the plans, said that Iran gave advance notice to Qatari officials that attacks were coming as a way to minimize casualties. The official said Iran symbolically needed to strike back at the U.S., but at the same time carry it out in a way that allowed all sides an exit ramp. They described it as similar strategy to 2020 when Iran gave Iraq heads up before firing ballistic missiles at an American base in Iraq following the assassination of its top general. Iran also said, according to the Associated Press, that the missile barrage on Qatar was the same number of bombs used by the U.S. on its nuclear sites, signaling a likely desire to de-escalate. The problem here is this is not in Israel's plan. Israel very clearly does not want de-escalation. Israel very clearly does not want the Iranian state to exist. All you are doing at this stage is basically telling the powers in the region that they can do whatever the fuck they want to you. As they're doing it to you, they can do whatever they want to you, and you're never actually going to make them recalculate this decision. Israel has time and time again proven to every country that is paying attention in its neighborhood, in its backyard, that the only way that Israel stands down is if they are forced to stand down, if the cost is too much. Lebanon is the best example of this, of course. Israel invades Lebanon. Hezbollah pushes them back. Too many troops die. Too many Israeli occupying force, diaper force troops die. They have to fucking recalculate. They have to inevitably pull out. Unless America told them to, Israel has never backed away from further military incursion and further land grabs unless they are forced to stand down.